to be known as a sweet and nice girl. I find sweet and nice a little boring.
You received a diamond from
I
Charles.
didn't receive a diamond, and I'm not going to speak about that. Thank you very much. And I'm not here for that.
And he was with people in which I admired dearly. He was with Naomi Campbell. He had Oprah Winfrey there with him, who entered the room and was swinging off his arm.
And they try to use a girl that you might like, or you may think you might like, or they think you might like her, or whatever, to convince you to lay down your guards with them.
Did Naomi Campbell play a role in Oprah and Jeffrey Epstein's darkest secrets?
Are you just a petulant diva who wants things her own way, and if you don't get things your own way, you feel you have the right to throw things?
From being linked to 3 of Hollywood's most notorious P-daters, Epstein, Weinstein, and Spacey, to accusations of setting up young women for exploitation, Naomi's name keeps popping up where it shouldn't.
He was with people in which I admired dearly. He was with Naomi Campbell. He had Oprah Winfrey there with him, who entered the room and was swinging off his arm.
But that's not all. Naomi's alleged involvement in receiving blood diamonds from a warlord adds another layer to her already tangled web. And her so-called philanthropic connections, they might just be a facade for something much darker.
You received a diamond from
I
Charles.
didn't receive a diamond, and I'm not going to speak about that. Thank you very much. And I'm not here for that.
So is Naomi finally about to snitch? What does her connection to Oprah really mean? And how deep does her involvement in these crimes go? Let's start with the most shocking revelation, Naomi Campbell's alleged ties to Jeffrey Epstein. The supermodel, once celebrated for her beauty and philanthropy, has been photographed with Epstein at numerous events. Her name has surfaced repeatedly in discussions surrounding Epstein's TF-icking ring. But here's the twist. Could Naomi have been more than just a guest? Naomi wasn't just mingling with Epstein. She was also rubbing shoulders with Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, and Oprah, figures accused of some of Hollywood's darkest crimes.
He was with people in which I admired dearly. He was with Naomi Campbell. He had Oprah Winfrey there with him, who entered the room and was swinging off his arm.
Speaking of manipulation, Gene Deal recently exposed how Diddy would use beautiful women to ensnare powerful men, trapping them in compromising situations to gain leverage.
And they try to use a girl that you might like, or you may think you might like, or they think you might like her, or whatever, to convince you to lay down your guards with them.
Naomi Campbell's name has surfaced in similar allegations. Did she help lure young women into Epstein's clutches? And then there's her violent history. With 11 physical assault charges to her name, Naomi's explosive temper is no secret. But could her alleged crimes go beyond physical outbursts? Could they extend to setting up young women for exploitation? And let's not forget her connection to blood diamonds, a scandal involving a brutal warlord. What role did Naomi play in receiving these diamonds, and why was it so carefully covered up? Naomi Campbell is renowned not only for her striking beauty, but also for her illustrious career as a model. With her captivating presence on the runway and in front of the camera, she has established herself as an iconic figure in the fashion industry. Her grace, elegance, and undeniable charisma have made her a favorite among designers, photographers, and audiences worldwide. Throughout her career, Campbell has graced the covers of countless magazines, walked the catwalks for the most prestigious fashion houses, and starred in numerous high-profile campaigns. Her versatility and longevity in the industry speak volumes about her talent and dedication. With her unparalleled beauty and unmatched experience, Naomi Campbell would undoubtedly be the perfect candidate for the likes of Diddy. You see, Naomi Campbell was once allegedly present at a party where Diddy reportedly sought to take advantage of Snoop Dogg. Luckily for Snoop, his wife came in the nick of time and saved him. Anyway,
Shantae walked in there and called his name one time, Calvin. In front of Naomi Campbell.
Yes, sir.
In front of Diddy.
apart from being successful and beautiful, Naomi has a long history of mistreating others. In fact, between 1998 and 2009, she was convicted several times for putting her hands on people. In 2000, she pleaded guilty after putting her hands on her former assistant and hitting her on the head with a telephone. Then, in 2007, Naomi was convicted again after getting physical with her former housekeeper. However, she showed no regret and famously attended her community service wearing designer outfits. real fur, and a $300,000 Dolce & Gabbana gown. But it didn't take long before this arrogant attitude caught up with her again. In June 2008, she was sentenced to 200 hours of community service for putting her hands on 2 police officers at London Heathrow Airport. But this still wasn't the end of her legal troubles. Less than 2 years later, a court in Italy gave Naomi a 6-month suspended prison sentence after she physically attacked a paparazzo who took pictures of her and her then-boyfriend, Russian oligarch Vladimir Doronin. Now, speaking of Naomi's connections to shady rich men, there's been a lot of speculation over the years that she might have helped some of these men commit serious crimes. Let's start with her friendship with former Liberian dictator Charles Taylor. In August 2010, Naomi had to testify in Taylor's war crimes trial and give evidence on blue diamonds she received from him in South Africa in 1997. She claimed that the diamonds were given to her as a gift by unknown men that she assumed were sent by Taylor. But see, the problem was that Naomi changed her story. She first claimed Taylor never gave her diamonds, and it was only after she was forced to testify under oath that she admitted she received precious stones from the dictator. Campbell denied the allegations to ABC News before storming out of the interview.
You received a diamond from
I
Charles.
didn't receive a diamond, and I'm not going to speak about that. Thank you very much.
But what she told ABC News was a lie. She did receive diamonds from Taylor, as she acknowledged under oath, describing a bizarre middle-of-the-night scene outside her bed.
Yeah. When I was sleeping, I had a knock at my door, and I opened my door, and 2 men were there and gave me a pouch and said, "A gift for you."
Campbell claimed that she discovered only later that they might be blood diamonds supplied by Taylor, but this account was contradicted in court by fellow guest Mia Farrow, who said Naomi was expecting a huge diamond from the warlord. It was never made clear why he would make such a gift. Campbell's former agent Carole White, who had also been present, told the court that Taylor and Naomi were flirting during the dinner and that her client excitedly leaned back in her chair and confided to her, "He's going to give me some diamonds." Taylor was jailed for 50 years for war crimes.
Most people, especially this awful son, wanted me to be in jail.
A spokesman for Ms. Campbell said she had never attempted to take the diamonds in question out of South Africa, a point established by the court. Now let's talk about Naomi's friendship with a different kind of criminal, Harvey Weinstein. In August 2019, the Daily Mail published a detailed report on Naomi's friendships with a hair-raising cast of characters from Harvey Weinstein to Jeffrey Epstein and Kevin Spacey. As the Mail pointed out, Weinstein was often pictured with Naomi prior to his arrest, and he attended her infamous week-long 40th birthday party in France. Weinstein's former driver later revealed that Weinstein nearly lost his life at the party when his gastric band failed and a surgeon had to be called. However, it's unclear what Weinstein was doing at the party when the incident happened. As for Jeffrey Epstein and his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell, there's plenty of evidence of Naomi mingling with these two. In fact, unsealed documents from Maxwell's trial showed that Naomi took trips on Epstein's private jet. And then, this picture went viral, showing Virginia Roberts, the alleged victim of Epstein and Prince Andrew, on a yacht party for Naomi's 31st birthday. The photo also shows Ghislaine Maxwell in the background, while Naomi is shown standing next to her then-boyfriend, Italian businessman Flavio Briatore. When she was later questioned on her connection to Epstein, Naomi claimed her boyfriend introduced them at her birthday party, and she admitted seeing Epstein front row at multiple Victoria's Secret shows. However, she denied knowing anything about his crimes. Now, when all those allegations about Diddy surfaced, Naomi's name popped up. Naomi and Diddy have been close for decades, and they were even rumored to have dated back in 2001. However, Naomi now prefers to refer to Diddy as her brother. But get this, when all those allegations about Diddy surfaced, Naomi quickly deleted a photo of her with Diddy and Janet Jackson from her Instagram. According to Page 6, the photo was taken just days before Cassie filed her lawsuit, and Naomi partied with Diddy in London to celebrate his 54th birthday and the release of his new album. So we're not sure why Naomi bothered to delete this photo when the internet is flooded with many other photos of her and Diddy partying, attending red carpet events, and even traveling together. Not just that, but there's also a lot of evidence of Naomi being friends with Diddy while he was dating Cassie, And then, on top of all this, Kenyan comedian Elsa Majimbo recently stirred the pot by sharing her story of how she met Naomi when she was 19. In a lengthy, now deleted video still being widely circulated, Elsa described meeting Naomi on a trip to Nairobi, where she and her brother were invited to do some further travel with the supermodel.
Naomi was coming to Nairobi to do some shopping. She was on holiday, but on a remote place. So she was in Nairobi doing shopping. And I texted her and she told me she's in Nairobi, so I was so excited to meet her.
Elsa said that during a beach day on that trip, Naomi pitched the idea of doing a documentary about Elsa's life in Kenya. After the trip, when Elsa encountered one of Naomi's acquaintances who had been on the trip with them, the person remarked that Naomi took credit for Elsa's career, a claim that Elsa vehemently denied. Months later, she got a phone call from Naomi slamming her for not giving her the credit she felt she deserved. According to Elsa, she already had a documentary in the works that was premiering at the Tribeca Film Festival. When Naomi got wind of this, assuming Elsa had gone rogue with the film she pitched to Elsa, she said Naomi threatened her with legal action, saying she would sue her for the rights to the documentary. Elsa spent the next several months trying to make things right, and that she was running into major roadblocks in her budding career as a model and that things were going haywire for her. Elsa recalls meeting former British Vogue editor-in-chief Edward Enninful and hearing an unspecified remark he said that tipped her off that perhaps Naomi had blacklisted her in the fashion industry, an experience that she says prompted her to begin an unhealthy relationship with alcohol. She went on to make things right with Naomi, informing her of every single move she made, which appeased Naomi but made Elsa uncomfortable. When she realized that it was not normal or healthy and that she was feeling controlled, she says she ceased communication entirely.
So yeah, me and her were not friends, we're not enemies, we're not anything, just not really in association.
Since sharing the video, social media users have chimed in with their own reactions. Some say they feel like, based on previous experiences people have shared about Naomi, that everything Elsa is saying is true. And others say Elsa should have kept her experience with Naomi to herself given Naomi's level of power and fame. Anyway, when Naomi Campbell isn't allegedly playing matchmaker for young women and controversial Hollywood elites, she's reportedly rubbing shoulders with the billionaire elite. Take, for example, her ties to Gaston and Catherine Glock. Gaston Glock, the mastermind behind one of the world's most famous handgun brands, celebrated his 90th birthday with an extravagant bash in the Austrian Alps in 2019. Among the exclusive guest list was none other than Naomi Campbell, who, despite her supposed humanitarian image, saw nothing wrong with attending a party hosted by a gun mogul. Naomi justified her attendance by claiming she was there to support the Glock's horse charity. But let's be real, Naomi's presence at such events is more about photo ops and rubbing elbows with the ultra-wealthy than charity work. And this isn't even scratching the surface of Naomi's controversial past. In a 2000 interview with Barbara Walters, Naomi herself admitted,
I don't want to be known as a sweet and nice girl. I find sweet and nice a little boring.
Well, mission accomplished. Her reputation has earned her nicknames like Cruella de Vil, with some calling her the ultimate diva who shows up hours late to appointments and yells at anyone who dares question her. A profile in the New York Times even described her as a nightmare to work with, recounting an incident where she screamed at a frustrated journalist who dared to call her out on her tardiness. But the most infamous aspect of Naomi's legacy isn't just her attitude, it's her track record of violence. Over the years, Naomi has faced accusations of assault no less than 11 times, with 4 convictions under her belt between 1998 and 2009. Her first high-profile incident came in 1998 when her assistant Georgina Galanis accused Naomi of grabbing her by the throat and hitting her over the head with a phone. The outburst reportedly occurred after the two were delayed by customs at a Canadian airport. Naomi eventually pleaded guilty to a downgraded charge, and while the Canadian judge let her off without a criminal record, it marked the beginning of her long and very public history of violent altercations. Fast forward to 2000, and another assistant, Vanessa Frisbee, accused Naomi of assault during an argument. Naomi denied the allegations and even sued Vanessa for breach of contract, with the case eventually being dismissed. But the accusations didn't stop there. In 2004, Naomi's assistant Simone Craig claimed the supermodel held her hostage in a Los Angeles hotel and threw a phone at her, a recurring theme in Naomi's disputes. While Naomi's lawyer vehemently denied these allegations, the case was dropped without further explanation. By now, the incidents were piling up faster than Naomi's designer wardrobe, painting a disturbing picture of a woman who didn't just live for drama, she created it. One of the most infamous episodes came in 2006 when Naomi was arraigned for throwing a BlackBerry at her housekeeper, Anna Scolavino.
Are you just a petulant diva who wants things her own way, and if you don't get things your own way, you feel you have the right to throw things?
Anna needed 4 stitches for her injuries, and Naomi pleaded guilty to second-degree assault. She was sentenced to community service and ordered to attend anger management classes, which only added fuel to her already fiery public image. Ever the fashionista, Naomi completed her 5 days of community service, decked out in haute couture, even documenting the experience in a diary for W magazine. She mused about her stylish outfits and trendy lunches during her time at the Department of Sanitation, proving that even while paying her debt to society, Naomi couldn't resist being the center of attention. But if anyone thought the community service stint had humbled Naomi, they were sorely mistaken. By 2008, she was back in the news for assaulting 2 police officers after being ejected from a British Airways flight. The drama unfolded when Naomi discovered one of her bags hadn't been loaded onto the plane. She reportedly unleashed an expletive-filled tirade at the pilot, telling him, "You are not leaving until you find my effing bags." When 3 police officers arrived to escort her off the flight, Naomi allegedly went berserk, lashing out with her arms and even spitting on one of the officers. She later pleaded guilty to assaulting an officer and using threatening language, resulting in a hefty fine, more community service, and compensation to the officers involved. British Airways reportedly banned her for life after the incident. While Naomi's legal troubles and volatile behavior have often overshadowed her career, she's never been one to back down or show much remorse. In a 2017 interview with The Guardian, Naomi reflected on her past with a mix of defiance and self-awareness. "I took on my ish and learned from it. I try to move on," she said. However, she also made it clear that she wouldn't let anyone use her mistakes against her, adding, "There are certain times when people try to use your past to blackmail you. That ish I'm not going to allow." Despite the controversies, Naomi has always maintained that her tough exterior has served her well in an industry notorious for exploitation. "Being a bee for me, if that's what people want to think of me as, has protected me in so many ways," she said in a candid moment. She also claimed that her no-nonsense attitude kept her safe from the darker side of the modeling world, where drugs and predatory behavior often run rampant. "I've never had any of that sleazy side because I guess I put on a look like, 'Don't come near me,'" she said. In any case, even popular TV host Oprah Winfrey has faced allegations of allegedly colluding with Naomi. Rumor has it that she's been turning her back on black artists and cozying up to none other than the snooty Hollywood elites. And get this, some of these elites include controversial figures like Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein. For context, in 2017, British actress Katie Noble said that Harvey Weinstein used Oprah Winfrey and Naomi Campbell to dupe her into thinking he would help her with her career, only to use her for S. Apparently, she was head over heels impressed when she first met Weinstein at an event in London because he was hanging out with model Campbell and had megastar Oprah swinging off his arm.
And he was with people in which I admired dearly. He was with Naomi Campbell, he had Oprah Winfrey there with him, who entered the room and was swinging off his arm. And
instead, Weinstein used promises of career advancement to lure the actress to his hotel room in Cannes, France, where he forced himself on her. After meeting Weinstein in London, Noble said she thought nothing of bringing her showreel to his hotel room when she saw him again in Cannes in February 2014. Once inside the hotel room, however, he didn't seem that interested in my showreel, Noble said. Instead, he began touching her while discussing hooking her up with a modeling agency in London. He said, "I need to know you really like me," Noble said. "I have all the information we need. I just need to know you really like me." The incident ended in the bathroom, where he forced Noble to perform intimate acts in front of the bathroom mirror, she said. Afterward, Weinstein failed to help her with her career as promised. It's worth mentioning that Oprah and Campbell weren't the ones who persuaded or pressured Noble to associate with Weinstein at that time. It was Weinstein acting on his own who lured the British actress. However, the fact that the 2 A-list celebrities were swinging off his arms did little to help the situation. You see, Oprah was once close with Harvey, and she even showed him sympathy even though he is a disgusting man, and he deserves to rot in jail. But it's hard to understand why Oprah wanted to be best friends with someone like Harvey Weinstein. They had a very warm friendship, and the photos show. Some people actually believe that Oprah convinced some actresses to hook up with Harvey Weinstein. In fact, Rose McGowan tweeted out, "I'm glad more people are seeing the ugly truth of Oprah. I wish she were real, but she isn't." Oprah previously attempted to speak out on Harvey Weinstein, but she never really got to the point, and you can tell that she was trying to protect him.
I think that this is, I'm always trying to look for the rainbow in the cloud, whatever is the silver lining. And so I think this is a watershed moment.
Of course, Oprah was trying to change the focus and make it seem like everyone else was the problem, except for Harvey. But let's talk about the strange difference in Oprah's behavior when she deals with people like Harvey compared to someone like Michael Jackson. Back in early 2019, there was a documentary made about Harvey Weinstein called Untouchable. It premiered at Sundance, but it didn't get much attention from the media, and Oprah didn't say a word about it. But when it comes to the documentary about Michael Jackson, Leaving Neverland, Oprah decided to promote it everywhere. After Leaving Neverland aired, Oprah even hosted a special show about it. This raised questions about why she chose to do that and not something similar for Harvey Weinstein. She invited some of Michael Jackson's supposed victims to share their stories on her show, but didn't mention any plans to invite Harvey Weinstein's victims to talk about what they went through. This difference made people wonder about Oprah's intentions and why she seemed to protect her friend Harvey Weinstein while putting the spotlight on Michael Jackson. What made this situation even more interesting was that Harvey Weinstein was already a convicted criminal, and there was plenty of evidence against him showing his guilt. So why did Oprah seem to avoid talking about him or giving his victims a chance to speak out? The fact that she didn't address his story or provide a platform for his victims left many people puzzled. One couldn't help but feel a sour taste in their mouth when considering the timing and circumstances of Oprah's focus on Michael Jackson. It was worth noting that Jackson had passed away over a decade ago, rendering him unable to defend himself against the allegations brought forward on Oprah's show. Meanwhile, Harvey Weinstein remained alive and kicking, with numerous victims who had bravely come forward to share their harrowing experiences. So why did Weinstein's story not receive the same attention and scrutiny? It raised legitimate concerns about Oprah's motives and whether she was attempting to justify or protect individuals with a history of bad behavior. The stark contrast between the treatment of Michael Jackson and Harvey Weinstein cast a shadow of doubt over Oprah's intentions. It raised questions about her commitment to justice and her willingness to hold powerful figures accountable. With Weinstein's extensive list of victims and his criminal conviction, one would have expected him to be at the forefront of discussions surrounding a banned misconduct. Yet, Oprah's apparent silence on this matter left room for speculation and invited skepticism about her true intentions. Amidst the swirling controversy surrounding Oprah Winfrey's association with notorious figures like Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein, the online sphere exploded with outrage. The accusations leveled against the renowned TV personality reached a crescendo, with some going as far as accusing her of orchestrating a sinister S-ring. Such shocking allegations against Oprah forced her into a corner, compelling her to address the rampant rumors that had spiraled out of control. "Just got a phone call that my name is trending," Winfrey wrote on Twitter, adding, "and being trolled for some awful fake thing. It's not true. Haven't been raided or arrested. Just sanitizing and self-distancing with the rest of the world. Stay safe, everybody." In any case, Naomi Campbell's life has been a whirlwind of beauty, fame, and power. But at what cost? From Epstein to Oprah, her ties to Hollywood's elite paint a disturbing picture. Is Naomi finally ready to snitch, or will she continue to stay silent as the truth unravels around her? Only time will tell. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.